If you're overwhelmed in your business right now, then I want to say something very clearly at the start of this message. It's probably not because you're bad at time management. It's probably not because you're disorganized. And it's definitely not because you're lazy or undisciplined. Most overwhelmed women that I work with are actually doing an extraordinary amount. They're just doing it inside their own heads. And today I want to talk about why overwhelm is so often misdiagnosed and why trying to manage your time better is rarely the thing that's going to fix it for you. You see, we've been taught very subtly that if something feels hard, the problem is more often than not us. If you're overwhelmed, this advice usually sounds something like you need to plan better or get more focused, stop procrastinating, get more organized. And that advice assumes something really important. It's assuming that your life is relatively stable, that your days are predictable and your energy is consistent. The interruptions are annoying but only occasional. But that's not reality for most women who are running businesses alongside their real life. Life doesn't pause politely so you can optimize. It expands. It gets noisier. It changes shape. And when that happens, business is built on memory, willpower, and constant decision making start to feel, well, frankly, unbearable. And that's not because you're failing, but because they were never designed to carry that much weight in the first place. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most overwhelmed women don't have a time problem, they have a capacity problem. You see, time management assumes that you have control over your life, that you can batch things neatly into little time packages, and that you can protect blocks of time consistently. But capacity isn't, or capacity is actually about something else entirely. It's about how many other things you're holding and juggling, how many decisions you're being asked to make, how much you're tracking mentally, how often you're compensating when something breaks. Now, for sure, two women can have exactly the same number of hours in every day. One feels calm, the other is constantly feeling behind and chasing to catch up. The difference between these women isn't discipline, it's support. Where most women get stuck is when there's no system and you yourself becomes the system. You remember what needs doing, who needs chasing, where things live, what happens. And from the outside, this looks like quiet competence. But from the inside, it's exhausting. Nothing ever really leaves your mind. You don't switch off. Even when you're resting, your brain is quietly running in the background, processing those, don't forget, I need to remember, I'll sort that out later. And that's not productivity. It's certainly not living. That is load-bearing cognition. And no amount of time management is ever going to fix that for you, I'm afraid. That's why just try harder is such awful advice for most of us. It's damaging. Effort doesn't fix structural problems. It just hides them temporarily. If effort worked a long time, burnout wouldn't exist. Capable women wouldn't feel constantly behind. Success would feel light, not heavy. But we all know that effort has limits. And when those limits are reached, women often assume that they are the heart of the problem, but they're not. What's missing is forgiveness in the design of your business. Systems that assume you'll forget things sometimes because you're human. You'll be tired. Life will interrupt you. You won't always be on and ready to go. See, calm doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from being supported better. Calm isn't a personality trait or a mindset that you need to master. It's not something that only organised people get. Calm is an outcome. It's what happens when fewer things rely on your memory, fewer decisions need to be made on a daily basis, fewer plates are spinning all at once. Think about calm spaces in real life. They're rarely impressive. They're simple, predictable, and easy to maintain. Calm businesses, well, they work in exactly the same way. They don't ask you to hold everything together. They absorb the pressure quietly and just get on with it. That's not laziness. That's clever design. Now, I want to be really clear about something before I finish here today. This week is not about fixing anything. You don't need to rush off and overhaul your systems right now, add new tools, create new routines, optimize your workflows. This week is about relief. It's about recognizing that overwhelm is not a moral failing. Your capacity's been stretched, and that makes sense. Once that lands, you'll find that your nervous system starts to soften a little bit. And from there, better decisions become possible, but not before. Now, if you take one thing from this video today, let it be this. You don't need to become a different person to feel calmer in your business. You don't need more discipline. You don't need more hours. You don't need to try harder. You need support that matches the life you're actually living. And that, my friend, is what we're going to be unpacking together this month. So for now, let that relief land. It's Friday night. Switch off a few tabs and have yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'll be back next week. Bye-bye.